All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We want to welcome you to another day of joy, another day of gladness, and we're excited to be here today. Well, to our friends and families, everybody who is watching us on Facebook and on YouTube, welcome. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. Well, the journey continues, guys. The journey continues. Today's the 30th day of May. And right from the first day of the month of May, we started this amazing series. Amazing series. Life transforming. Purely life transforming. We've had individuals come to speak to us from the very first day of May till this date. And it's been a wonderful experience. We've had unique testimonies, unique stories, stories that will take you on that roller coaster journey. Some stories will make you cry. Some stories will break your heart. Then from that place of, you feeling, the pain and the sadness, then all of a sudden you hear of a good news and the change that happened, and then the transformation that happened, and then you get excited and you're like, yes, thank God. You didn't remain in that place of of sorrow, of pain, and that's how it has been so far. The testimonies of victory, the testimonies of God's goodness. There's some testimonies that I'm here seated and I'm asking those questions, and I just have to put myself together. I have to just remember that, hey, boy, you are you're on set. And you have to get yourself together because life transforming testimonies, and all of this is thanks to God. God deserves the glory, God deserves the praise, and all adoration goes to him. And also thanks also goes to Dr. Sunday, because it is because of him that we are here, or we're having this discussion. And just maybe you do not know, the reason why we've been having this whole series of testimonies is because of Dr. Sunday's celebration. On the 28th of May, that is 2 days ago, Dr. Sunday was 53 years old, and he decided that he wants to celebrate his birthday in a different way, where most people would rather, want to celebrate themselves, their impact, and whatever they're doing, just all about themselves. But Dr. Sunday decided that no, this year, he would rather want to celebrate people. He would rather want to celebrate people's testimonies. He wants to celebrate their journey, how they've been able to, work on themselves, and been able to change themselves. And from the change that they've gone through themselves, they've been able to transfer that change to their families, to their societies, and to their nation. And that's exactly what we've been doing from the first day of May. So if you're joining us for the first time on day 30, hey, you missed a lot. You missed so much. So what you need to do is to go to Dr. Sunday Adelaja's YouTube channel and search for life transforming testimonies. So if you search for life transforming testimonies, you're going to see a playlist that has all of the videos we've done, all of the testimonies we've done from people from different parts of the world, from Africa, from Europe, America, Asia, everywhere. Today we are having another guest today, and I'm particularly excited, to hear her story. She's been here to Ukraine, and I had the opportunity to meet her. But today, if you can see on your screen, the title of today's discussion is a testimony that says, I have learned to convert my inspiration and my faith, to tangible results. I've learned to convert my faith to tangible products. And that's something that definitely would resonate with anyone who has been following Dr. Sunday. He used to say, that one word you should never forget, which is the most important word on earth, is the word conversion. And I remember him saying it, repeat the word conversion. Repeat the word, conversion, conversion. And here is a lady we have today joining us all the way from New Zealand. And she's going to be sharing with us our own testimony of how she learns, how to convert our faith to tangible products. Well, joining me today is the beautiful Queen Rochelle White. Many of you might have heard her name right from the very first set of videos Dr. Sunday has been doing. And you will say, welcome, Rochelle White. Well, here is Rochelle White with us today. Good evening to you from Ukraine. And I think it's good morning over there in New Zealand.
Yes. Hello, Arno. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Well, people do not know what time it is there, but I know.
4 o'clock.
It is what time?
4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. When you told me that, when we had a conversation some few days back, and you told me it was going to be 4 a.m. in New Zealand for the program, and you told me, and I was already feeling like, wow, so you have to wake up that early, and you told me, hey, no problem, it's fine. I normally wake up around 3 or something thereabout, and I was like, wow. Well, let me start on this note. We want to appreciate you. Thank you for, accepting to be here. Thank you for the sacrifice. I'm sure many people are asleep right now in New Zealand, but you decided to sacrifice that sleep and to be here with us today to share your testimony. So we want to say thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, can we meet you, Mrs. Rochelle?
Yes, well, I'm from New Zealand. I'm a mum, and I'm a hairdresser, and I love to write.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Just echo.
Yeah. You keep speaking.
Yes. So yes, I love to write, but yes, I'm a mum with 2 girls. I'm a hairdresser. Yes.
Good. All right. So you're a mom, and you also you're into hairdressing. And anyone who knows you, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyone who knows Rochelle White especially on Facebook, would agree that you do love to write.
Right. I found my passion.
Wow.
Yes.
Beautiful. And we're going to talk about that, how you found your passion to write and all of that. But here we see the title of the discussion today, which is, I have learned to convert my faith to tangible products. And we're going to talk about your journey, because one of the things I've come to appreciate is process, And Dr. Sunday has a book where he titled the book, Process is the New Result. And when I read that book, and the more I began to study the lives of great men and people who have achieved great results, I realized that there were people who loved and they appreciated process better than the result. And so if one wants to repeat the feat of great people, then we must shift our gaze and our focus from just the result that they got and understudy the processes they had to go through. Their journey towards the success and the result that they achieved. And that's something I've been trying to do also with our guests, just to try to get their journey, their processes, and to know, okay, how did you get there? It's good to know that you've learned how to do that, but we want to know, how did you learn it? Maybe we could learn from your story. Maybe we could learn from your processes, and maybe we could pick up some values and some lessons and some truths and some principles from your life. And I'm really hoping that you'll be willing enough to share with us that process and the journey that you took to learn how to convert your faith and your inspiration to tangible products.
Yes, it was an amazing journey. Amazing.
Wow.
The most life-changing experience of my whole life.
Let's start with how that journey began. How did that journey begin?
Well, the day I'd been really seeking the truth before I met DSA, and I had been in churches and I was very frustrated, very
Wow.
frustrated. And so 8 weeks before I met DSA, I was really seeking God. You know, Lord, I just want to find the truth. I said, I just want to find the truth. So I constantly every day really prayed, God, you know, reveal yourself to me.
Wow.
And then one day I came across a Facebook post with DSA, and I thought, oh, I love his bright, you know, I noticed his bright colours.
You saw his bright suits and colors and all of that.
Yes.
Wow.
And I didn't know him at all. I've never heard, because in New Zealand you don't hear of, you know, that side of the world. And so I thought, oh, I'm just going to listen to this man, just see what he's saying. And literally the second I went in, I remember his first words were converting the word to become flesh. And I was like, I've never heard this before.
Wow.
Was hooked. That very day I was like, my life stopped. And I was just, wow, God, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was just so, my life stopped and that was it. I was just listening to DSA every day, all day. I didn't even know I was a writer. So, yeah, God took me on an amazing process. Amazing.
Wow. So let's just maybe talk a little bit about that initial encounter. So you were just on Facebook, and
Yes.
it just popped up on your timeline.
Yes, well, yes, it just popped up, you know, and yes.
Wow.
And yeah, I think it was, he's just finishing the Money series about
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. Going into the Kingdom, I think it was. Yeah, I think that was the next series.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, I just was like, oh my goodness, I've been living on this earth and I didn't know this knowledge existed.
Wow.
And yeah.
Have you had encounters with, because you know you're a white lady, right? You're
Yeah,
a white lady from New Zealand, and here is this black man, right?
yes.
You never even had of him before, like you said. You didn't know there was anyone who is, Sunday Adilaja, and then you saw him, and then you paid attention to him because of his bright colors. Uh, as a white lady, did you ever have any like interaction, or uh, maybe listen to any black pastor before, or
No, but I just saw the truth. I didn't see a black man, I didn't see a white man, I just saw the truth.
so you didn't see a black man, you just saw the truth.
Just saw the truth, and that was what I was looking for. Mm,
Wow,
yeah,
that is very deep right there, you know.
yes.
Because you know, because you were seeking for the truth.
Mm,
So when you found the truth, it did not matter the container or who the carrier of the truth is. What was your, you know, ultimate concern was, I found the truth,
mm,
and it was the truth that you held on to. And I'm just dwelling a little bit on that, because oftentimes people get carried away by the carrier and the channel of truths. So they say, oh, I'm a white person. And Dr. Sunday also faced it here in the former Soviet Union, because people didn't want to listen to him. They didn't want to pay attention to you, because they were like, you're a black man. We're whites. The last time we checked, you guys still, you know, you still eat on the trees, you know. And they even told him that, hey, we learned you cut your tail when you got to the airport, you know. So they couldn't go beyond the bias that they had, and with the prejudices that they had against, you know, the black race and people who are black. But for you, you did not see black, or you did not see white. You did not see man, or you did not see woman. all you saw was truth.
Yes.
How
That's,
how important is that, and why is
um,
that important? What do you think?
the value of truth. And I was frustrated. I was frustrated. Like it's nothing against our churches, but then that I remember sitting there. I was just like, because I'm not into a Sunday club. I'm not speaking offensive against the church, but I wanted the truth. Yeah, and I didn't come from a religious background, but I had an ability to hear, like, and yeah, and just to find that my life stopped. It was that important to me. It was like, wow. And that was it. I was glued to the iPad. I was glued. And
What about the
yes.
accent? Because Dr. Sunday has the African accent.
At,
That didn't matter to you.
no, at first I struggled, but now I'm so used to his voice. I can I'm so used to it. Yes. So yes. But I just
Yeah.
amazed how people couldn't see the truth. I was like,
Hmm.
how can they not see this?
Wow.
Mm.
Wow, that is interesting. That is interesting because I've had people, there was a friend, there is a friend of mine who told me, because she's based in the United States, and she told me that she tried, sharing Dr. Sunday's teachings, right, to some of our American friends who are like white Americans. So when she shares Dr. Sunday's videos to them, and then they listen to him, they're like, we can't hear what this man is saying. His accent is is African, and we can't hear him, and so they lose out because
Yes,
of the accent.
yes. That's I think yeah, but I don't hear the accent at all. I just hear, oh my goodness,
Truth.
every word that comes out of his mouth. I don't see a man. I just see the voice of heaven.
Wow, wow. You just hear the voice of heaven. That is powerful. That is
Yeah.
powerful.
Yes.
That
Very. Yeah.
that is powerful. You said your life stopped. I'm
Oh, stop.
I'm intrigued by that. What do you mean by your life stopped?
Well, it wasn't long I stopped going to church.
Yeah, yeah,
Wasn't long. Not because it was because I'd found a content that was, I mean, the level.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, only people that listen to DSA would understand what I'm saying. And that was it. I was just, and then my eyes started opening to the world around me. I was like,
Wow.
oh my goodness, we are in ignorance. And
Wow.
then I started hating ignorance with a passion.
So it became open to you that, hey, I've been ignorant all my life.
Oh, just yes. And then I started feeling angry that,
Ooh.
oh my goodness, like the ignorance on this earth is so severe. And then that was when I started to discover my love and my hate, the love for the truth and my hate for ignorance. And
Wow.
Wow.
yes, that drives me every day, every day.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. And that's a very interesting concept right there. Because you said, so you began to discover your love and your hate. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? Because that might be a concept that people don't understand. What do you mean by you discovered your love and then your hate? What does that mean? And how did you discover it, and how did that impact your life, and how did that, influence who you are and what you do today?
Um, um, sorry, I'm just, well, I just discovered, like I was glued to DSA, so I realized what I loved. And then the more and more I listened, I realized what I hated, like the ignorance. And then after hearing his calling series on
Okay.
this, and how he talked about where your love and your hate meet, that's where your calling is. And I didn't know I was a writer. I didn't know I was a writer. I'd written maybe one writing before I'd met him, but I didn't know. So, and then that was how God started unveiling to me, where my calling was. And every day I'm either very angry about ignorance, like angry, especially in Africa, it upsets me.
Wow.
Or else I'm totally obsessed with the truth.
How did you use that? This is socially obsessed.
No, I'm totally obsessed with the truth.
Obsessed with the truth. Beautiful.
Yes, obsessed.
Wow.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Because, when you said when you're love and truth, I just had the memory of the Calling and the Purpose series.
Yes.
Where Dr. Sunday taught that your calling is right where your love and your hate, meets. So you discovered your love for truth, that you're a lover of truth. And I love the word you used. You're obsessed with truth.
Absolutely obsessed.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you discovered your hate. And then what you hated was ignorance.
Oh, with a passion. Every day it drives me. And I saw religion too. I don't like religion one little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate what religion does. Yeah, because it locks Jesus out. It. Yeah, and where religion is, you can't. Yeah, it's only the truth. Yeah, and so that's what I recognized in DSA, like different, totally different to what I'd seen. And then and then that's where my anger for religion came in.
Wow.
Because I was like, wow, I've seen religion, a lot of religion. And you don't see Jesus reflected when there's religion, because it's, so that was another area that I realized, I didn't like.
Let's talk about the importance of obsession, because you're using a lot of very good and strong words. So when you use those words, I don't want those words to just go like that. I want us to get those words and kind of, even dig a little bit deeper to those words. So, we talked about your love and your hate, and how your love and your hate met, and that your love for truth and your hate for ignorance. And then you discovered your calling to being that, right? Yeah. And we're going to talk about your writing part later on, because that is one part that I know that there's a lot that you would have to share about that. So we're going to get that. We're going to get there momentarily. But before we get there, you talked about your obsession. And you used the word obsession and passion. Talking about what you love, you said you're obsessed to the truth. And also for what you hate, you say you have a passion. Your hate is like with a passion for ignorance. Why is obsession and passion, why do you attribute that to your calling? And why do you have to be obsessed with truth? Why can't you just be okay? Well, I know the truth, and I love the truth. Why does it have to get to the place of obsession?
Oh, it just consumes me. Like I can't stop listening to DSA to this day. I'm still, because of my obsession with the truth, and I find if I would deviate, I can't deviate. It's just, it's the obsession to, I want to catch every word. I'm obsessed with understanding it. I want to understand it. I want to know it. I want it to be a part of me. I want it to be my lifestyle. I'm fully consumed, obsessed. And and also with the gospel of the kingdom, I realized that is not being preached. Because we would be doing what Ukraine is doing and taking over nations.
Yeah.
So, and that's always upset me, because I've always wanted to see the church affect society, you know. So, yeah, I'm just absolutely obsessed with the truth. Yeah, I could listen to Dare Say over and over and over again. My whole life turned upside down because I was like, I just wanted to write. I wanted to capture every word. It's just there's nothing like it on this earth, and I'm just so grateful God's raised him up. You know, I was like, wow, that this man speaks English, so I can hear this information.
Wow.
Yeah, it means so much to me. So.
Wow. Because, you know, there are many people who come to listen to Dr. Sunday. For example, you've been listening to Dr. Sunday from which year is that?
2016, 17.
Okay, so let's say around 3-4 years now.
Yes.
And
yes.
I'm sure you're aware that a lot of people who were just like you, who tuned in 3 years back, a lot of them are nowhere to be found today.
How can that happen? I am shocked. How could that happen? I'm like, what? How could that possibly happen? It's mind-blowing. I think, how could they shut the door on listening to the truth like that? I don't know how you could. I can't. It's hard for me to comprehend. Yeah.
You cannot comprehend that.
Can't comprehend it. I'm like, what happened to those people? How? I just don't understand. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, keep speaking.
Yeah, I know it's according to who we are on the inside, as I've learned from DSA, but I'm still like, wow, how could you go from that knowledge and shut the door to, I can't comprehend that.
It's good to hear that from you, because why I'm saying that is because, number one, you're a white lady, right? And you know, there's a general knowledge, you know, which some people might say is subjective and some people might say is objective, but there's a general knowledge that, I mean, you can't just, you know, you can't just win a white person, right? You have to be logical, because generally, the general belief is that white people are logical. People can debate it, but that's all right. So let's say you're white, okay? And you're a New Zealander, right? And you're not like African or Nigerian that you could say, okay, I'm listening to Dr. Sunday because he's my brother or because he's from my side or something like that. No, that's not your case. So you're different. You're far away from him. You're far away. And just like many other people, you stumbled on his message and you listened to him and you found the truth. And you just said that it blows your mind that you cannot believe why somebody would come, listen to Dr. Sunday, and shut the door to himself. I'm saying that I'm happy that you are saying, because Dr. Sunday says something like that, but he says it in a different way. So what he says, and when he says this, people say he's proud, and people say he's being, you know, braggadocious. But he says that I'm saying this not because I'm proud, I just know what I'm saying. And what he says is, if there's anybody who ever listened to him and decides not to listen to him anymore and says, okay, I don't want to listen to Dr. Sunday again, I don't want to read his books, I don't want to get his materials, Dr. Sunday says there are only two reasons, right? It's only if God has given up on that person. And I've said, okay, I've given up on you, so you can shut the door, right? Like, just like you said, you can shut the door to the truths that could literally, you know, transform your life. So it's either God has given up on you, or, you know, you have given up on yourself, or maybe the devil just wants to, you know, just make a mess of your life. So because he's saying that, I mean, I'm not saying you should follow me, and he's not saying anyone who stops following me. He's just saying anyone who stops, you know, following the truth that I teach. It's like you just got a gun, right? And you just shot yourself right on your feet. You know, you just shut the door to the very thing that will help you. And when you said that, you know, I was like, this is exactly the very thing Dr. Sunday says, but now he's not the one saying it, but you are the one saying it. Now, why would anyone ever come across Dr. Sunday, listen to his teachings and says, I don't want to listen to him?
Yes, I cannot comprehend how they could. Africa does not realize how blessed they are to have a man like that, who, you know, I fully believe Nigeria will be transformed. Fully believe.
Amen.
Yeah, fully believe.
Wow.
Because of the truth that man carries, you know, it's yeah, it is. I have not heard a voice that even comes near to the content that's coming out of his mouth. It's mind-blowing. Absolutely. Like, people, I think generations to come are going to be, listening to him. Yes, I think we're so blessed to have him on the earth, you know.
Wow.
So,
Amazing. Well, you know, let me just address our viewers who are watching us right now, you know, because there are many people, who are watching us right now, and they are so scared. They are so scared to share this video because they're thinking, if I share this video of Dr. Sunday Adelaja, people will say, oh, you follow that man? Oh, you listen to that man? So they're so scared to share a video like this. But just as, Rochelle has said, you know, the truth that she's heard from Dr. Sunday, you know, this is someone who is testifying, who is saying it, you know, that there's nothing that comes close to it. So I'm just reaching out to our viewers who are watching us right now. You know, Dr. Sunday has a YouTube channel. And right now that YouTube channel has over 8,000 videos. Over 8,000 videos. That is like a whole, that's like a whole, you know, it's like a university of knowledge, you know, a whole wealth of wisdom. And the name of the channel is Dr. Sunday Adelaja. If you're watching us right now, I want you to do yourself a huge favor, right? And go to that channel and search all of the playlists that are there. It will blow your mind what you would see there. Because it might just be that the very thing you've been spending the last decade of your life trying to figure out, it might even be 2 decades of your life. It might even be 3 decades of your life trying to get an answer. It might just be that one video, just one video, can answer that question. So can you imagine a video of maybe 1 hour can once and for all give you the solution to the problems that you've been trying to figure out for the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years of your life. And I'm not just saying this. I'm saying this because this is a testimony coming from our guest today, Mrs. Rochelle, because she also listens to Dr. Sunday's messages. And from just the teachings that she got, she discovered a calling, you know, that she had not discovered, you know, all her life. Tell us about how you discovered your calling and how you got to writing? I know you have a wonderful testimony about this, so I just want to open the floor to you right now to please share with us.
That is the most amazing journey. Not only did I find the truth, I walked right into my destiny.
Wow, you walked right into your destiny.
Right into it. Right into it.
You walked right into your destiny. My God.
Yes. And I feel like God had prepared me for years before I even got to the point of hearing DSA, because by the time I heard him, I'd been through many life lessons, but I didn't have the answers. I didn't, and I think, it was amazing just walking right into it, because I was obsessed with stationery. I was obsessed with, I used to go to bookshops, and I didn't know why I was so drawn to bookshops. This is before I met DSA. And all my life, the concept of books and writing had always fascinated me, but I didn't know I was a writer. No, I didn't have the words for the pages, but yes, so that was amazing. But how it started was I started getting inspiration all of a sudden. Like for the first year, I was just listening to DSA, and it was after I came back from Ukraine, and then I started getting inspiration, like how he teaches about you'll get a word or a sentence or something, and then from that you bring out the rest. And then I started writing, going, oh my goodness, the stuff that's inside me. It was just like, wow. That was coming out.
My God.
Yes.
My God.
So God, I was getting inspiration every day, and it was like I had paper everywhere. And so God, it was just amazing, and I started to learn to hear God's voice. And then that was how my faith increased. And because then I realized, wow, as I stepped out to start writing, I didn't know how I was going to make past 1 week, let alone. But wow. I just, God, I can have faith for writing every day, and God has not let me down once.
Wow.
It's just, So the journey was amazing. Wow.
Let's dig deep into this, right? Let's dwell on it, because you said it in a summarized version, right?
Yeah.
So we're now going to just tear apart some of those parts that you talked about. So you said you mentioned coming to Ukraine for the HMT. Can you tell us about that whole process of you coming over to Ukraine and what happened? The HMT you attended, and how did that impact you? What was it like being in Ukraine? Let us know a little about that, if you don't mind.
Because of my obsession with this truth, I was like, I have got to go there. I was like, Lord, I have got to go there. I was like, I've got to see this place. I've got to go there just to be in the environment, just to know, wow. So I really started praying, Lord, I'd love to go to Ukraine. And then, so I had to go through the whole process of getting a visa and everything. And God all the resources just came. It was amazing. God just opened that door. And then when I came, it was more about the environment of being there, of being in that atmosphere. And I think that was a very life-changing experience for me, because one of my prayers was, Lord, I just pray I come back with more than I went with. I didn't know I was a writer up until when I came back from Ukraine. And was when the writing started, when I came back, because I'd had such a great experience. And so it brought out my passion, and that was how the writing started, actually. So, yes, from that trip.
Beautiful. So what was, you talked about the atmosphere and the environment. I know what it means because that's where I live and that is my daily environment. But I'm guessing some of our viewers who are listening might be wondering what is special about the atmosphere there? What is the environment like? Maybe you could try to paint some pictures and paint in words what it is like to be in this environment.
Well, his compound's like heaven on earth. I'm not, because there's such an atmosphere in that house. And everybody is just so beautiful. They're just, because one way I think we see Jesus through values. I'm big on values. When that's what I love, the difference between religion and Jesus and people is when you see people that radiate values of, and so that was what I saw, was wow, and because of that atmosphere, it was like religion is so different.
Wow.
So different. And I was like, wow, I have seen religion. There's been some people along the path, that really radiated God. Yeah. And I was always looking for that in people. I was always looking for that. And I think that comes across people with values, people that, and just that, I think, and being in that atmosphere and being in that environment was like, that just changed my life. Wow. Because I was like, wow, I didn't see, and that was where I also got angry about religion, because it was like, oh my goodness, I've seen so much religion. And and it doesn't give life.
Religion doesn't give life.
Doesn't give life, no.
So when you came here, you felt you received the life.
Yes. And that's where I love my love for the truth, because truth is life.
Beautiful.
Yes, truth is life. And that's why I think truth can affect Muslims, it can affect Buddhists, it can affect any nation, any people group. That's why I think truth is much more relevant and than religion, because religion doesn't, it doesn't give you that. So that was what I saw that was so different.
Beautiful, because you had experienced religion.
Yes.
You had experienced the atmosphere of religion. You knew what it meant to be in a whole environment of religion. So, but when you came over, and then you saw the atmosphere here, you saw the way people, live and interact, and the values you saw. It was like
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Wow.
That the unity that it was just such a different thing than what I'd seen. I was like, wow. And so that good experience for me was so life-changing.
Good.
Yes.
Beautiful. And I understand that you said it was from your experience that you had in Ukraine, you decided when you got back to New Zealand, you decided to start writing about it, if I understand that.
Yes. So I did a little series on Ukraine. So just about my trip to Ukraine, because it had impacted me so much.
Yes.
So that was how God brought out my writing.
Wow.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. So that was the beginning of the process of realizing, wow, I'm a writer, and I'd never discovered this joy as I started writing. It was like, oh my goodness. And that's when the new obsession came in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was just, and I love the way you used the word that you stepped into your destiny.
Yes.
When you came here. because people don't understand how these things work, but your life is a testimony of that. When you listen to Dr. Sunday, your obsession for the truth made you say, okay, I want to go here. But you never knew that your decision to follow your heart and to come over was to be the beginning of the rest of your life.
Yes. I never knew. And that's why the doors were just opening for me to go to Ukraine. It was amazing. Just everything. So I know it was so of God, and that was the starting point for me for my writing journey. And I mean, I will never go back. I mean, I'm so obsessed with writing. I want the world to know this truth. I'm like, the world needs this. It's like, that's why I'm really working hard to get my writing to a standard so that so that I can write. I just the whole world needs this.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So you got back and you started writing every day.
Yes, I did a series. It was about 25 days. So I did that, and then I stopped, but then the writings kept coming, but I was doing them at home just personally.
Yeah.
And then Pastor Natalia, I started having Skype phone calls with her from Ukraine, and she was encouraging me to step out and start writing on Facebook, and then I thought, I'm going to start doing this. And that was when, because I'd got the confidence, because I was getting inspiration a lot, and I could see my writings were like, wow. I could see DSA's voice all through them.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was when I thought, right, I'm going to step out and do this. And then I discovered a new thing of faith. Like, when you believe God, I don't need to have it. I just need faith. That's all I need. And I love that. And when you believe God that he will provide, if you believe him and trust him, if you step out in faith, and he has absolutely been so faithful. That's one thing I've learned about God. Yeah. Just the faithfulness, and every day without fail he's given me inspiration, and it's now 2 years. So
it's been 2 years you've been writing and you've not missed a day.
Missed one day. No. Yes.
That is maximum respect. I can testify to that because I see it every day. Anyone who wants to doubt that just needs to go to search for your Facebook page, and that is Rochelle White. Anyone who goes there and see, the person would see every day you release articles, every blessed day. That's beautiful. Now let's talk about how you were able to, because most people, they don't, that is like, as far as the heaven is to the earth, that's how it is for many people. They cannot even get their head around how they could write consistently for a month. Not to talk about writing consistently for a year. But here you are, you're saying every day for the past 2 years, you've been writing and releasing articles every day. And you mentioned inspiration. Tell us about how faith and inspiration has helped you in this journey of writing.
Well, I've set my whole life up in a value chain, like a system. My whole life is in a system.
Yeah.
Revolving around writing. Everything revolves around writing. So my day starts at 3 a.m. every day, and I get up, and I love to run and talk to God. And so I always go out running every morning while it's dark, because the world's sleeping, and I just love it, just to, and I just go out and talk to him, and every day, so without fail, by the time I come back from the end of my run, he's given me an inspiration.
My God.
Yeah, or a picture or a word or something. And that's when I get my computer out, because I love the quietness.
Wow.
I love that. Yeah, that's why I get up at 3, so I'm in a quiet atmosphere. And so I get my computer out and I start writing, and it's I just step out by faith. I don't even know what I'm writing 2 minutes before sometimes. It's never planned.
My
It's always
God.
never planned. No. And I've just learnt, even some subjects I find hard to, like religion, I've noticed I write a little bit, and money is another one, because I've experienced corruption and things, so I've got a passion. Because I feel for people who are in that cycle, because they don't realize the consequences. I've learnt about the laws of life, and so I really want to, I want to see people set free of that. So, but God's just all these subjects, and I'm passionate to destroy ignorance, because it damages people's lives. And and so every day God will give me a word, and I just start writing. And even it often, because I've learnt about conversion, sometimes it feels like, what am I writing? And I get to the end, I think, oh my goodness, what have I written?
Wow.
Read it, I go, wow, that's where did that come from?
Wow, God.
Yes. And I'm like, wow, and I see DSA's voice through my writings a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't plan it, and I just step out, and as I'm writing, he'll give me pictures and different words, and I just write it. Yeah, and I've
Beautiful.
So, yeah, I love writing.
You love to write. You know what I'm feeling right now, and what I'm even saying right now is what religion has deprived millions of people from.
Terrible. Sorry, yeah, it has. It has.
Because what I'm hearing from you and what I'm seeing from you is not so much about the writing, but what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is a lady who has come to build that personal, intimate relationship with her Father, and has learned, to walk with God, and has learned to hear the voice of God, and has learned, to feel the vibration of the spirits, where you can begin to, receive, thoughts and ideas and, inspiration from God. That's what I'm hearing. And I want to throw that to you. Maybe I might be wrong, but maybe you want to tell us, how has, your relationship with God been, how has it been influenced? What is it like? What is your relationship with God right now, as compared to what you had before when you were in religion?
Oh, I've learned to be a friend with God. Like, I've learned to be a friend with God, and it that relationship with Him, and just to trust Him, and just set free of religion. I mean, I didn't come from any religious background, but even the little bit that I'd had, so I'm set free of all that religion, I've got to pray, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I pray every day, but I've learned prayer is not about going to God and saying a whole lot of words. It's just connecting with Him and being genuine, just authentic. And because He sees you, He sees us, He sees our hearts. And just to open up, and just to not go to Him and ask Him for this or that, or just to go in and to just just he takes us as we are. We don't have to, we don't have to put on anything. That's what I see with religion. You know, we go to God and I want this, I want this, I want this. But it's not about that. It's about a relationship with him. And I've realized a lot of people pray religiously and they don't convert. They just pray, but that's where it ends. And it's like, and that's what the problem with the church, because they haven't learned how to convert their inspiration into products. And unless I'd heard DSA, I probably wouldn't know any better either. So I don't condemn, you know, people don't know any better. But and most of the stuff I write, I realize, you know, I don't say it I say it because I want people to know the truth, because it's only the truth, you know, that can set you free. Yeah. And so and the truth is a hard saying, you know, it's not an easy.
Yes. Yeah.
But so yes, just learning just to connect with God on a new level. Yes.
So God now for you is not one person who is like far away in heaven, you know, who.
Yes. No, he's not far away. So I've just learned that, and it's just learning to trust and walk with him like a friend. And
Beautiful.
And I've learned I don't go to prayer, and I try not to talk about me, and it's about him and his will, and it's
Oh,
and
beautiful.
yes, and so it's just a whole new understanding. But I didn't know any of this stuff before I met DSA, so I can understand how people get caught in the traps, you know, because that's what we see around us. You know, we go to the prayer meeting, everybody's going, demanding heaven, storming heaven for all these things, and it's like, that's not what prayer is. And so I hear that now, I can see that now, and it's just having relationship with him. And even if you don't say a lot of words, sometimes it's just meditating. You don't have to, because what's the point in saying vain repetitions, you know, just yeah. So I've learned all that, and that's what's so freeing, you know, and that I can trust him for what I need. I don't need to go and, God, I need this. He will bring it, and if he doesn't bring it, well, it's not meant to be, you know. That's yeah. So I've learned all this through DSA, through listening to his teachings, and like I wasn't brought up with religion, and even I was affected, you know, by religion, because that was what I'd seen. And so you don't know better until you see the truth. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just so beautiful. And you know, God becomes so sweet. It becomes, you know, it becomes so real and tangible to you. You know, you can feel him, you know.
Yeah.
You can feel his embrace, you know, you can hug him, so you're not just coming to him and just, you know, wanting to just repeat words. You could just be in his presence and just feel him, you know, feel his embrace, you know, feel his heartbeat, you know, rest on him, you know, see him hug you, and just envelope yourself in his presence and just love on him, you know, not coming to just tell him, Daddy, I want this, or I want, you know, just a love relationship with him as your father.
Love the authenticity of that's my favorite place, you know, like just going to somebody, just talking to a friend, you know, that just knows you inside and out, and there's no, so that's what I've learned with God. And he's so, it's such a different understanding of prayer that I got. And then discovering faith. So I learned all of what DSA taught for, you know, like the faith series was, wow. I mean, faith is such a freeing thing. You don't have to do religious works. You just have to believe. And that's what my whole writing is based on, is faith, because I just have to believe. And he has proved me. That's why every day now when I come back from my run, if I haven't got my write up yet, I say it's okay because I know it'll come. I've got that faith, and sure enough, no, never lets me down. Never, never, never. I just see Abraham with the ram. You know, when the ram was caught in the thicket, and that says God will provide. And so that I always see that picture, and that's, yeah. And that's another thing about DSA. He's made the stories of the Bible come alive. Like, yeah, they're not religious stories, how we were taught in church. You know, you hear the story and somebody just interprets it in a different way, but they're actually principles. And it's like, wow, you know, yeah, no, it's just mind-blowing. Just the world needs to hear. The world needs what he is teaching. Yes.
I agree with you 100%. The world needs to hear.
Well, it's just me. Yeah, that most people don't. There's only few on the planet that know this truth. So
wow. What a great privilege it is for us.
Oh, it is. That's what I think. God, you allowed me. I used to think, why did you let me hear this information? And then one day it dawned on me, the reason is because I hate ignorance so much. Because I hate ignorance so much, I just want to, it's like I feel like I'm on World War III to destroy this problem.
I love that. I love your choice of words and the way you use them. You know, it's like World War III to get just to fight this ignorance. Beautiful.
Oh, I hate what it does because people are walking around in darkness and they don't know. So yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, that's amazing. And I want to just make some announcement very soon because we're going to get into the conversion part very soon. All right. And the faith, because you mentioned some things about faith, about inspiration. So we're going to talk about how you've been able to, work on converting them, because I think that is a place where people have issues with, and they don't know how to do it because, in church, we get a lot of, goosebumps, we get a lot of, inspiration, we feel it, but, that place where we need to make the shifts, to make that shift to, convert whatever inspiration we're getting, whatever, the faith that we have, how do we get it into tangible products? That is where a lot of us don't know how to do it. And from your experience, we're going to talk about how you've been able to do that, all right? But before we get there, I want to just make some announcements to our viewers who are watching. Dr. Sunday has a new book, and that book is titled, wait for it. The book is titled, Why I Write Books and Why You Too Should Write Yours. Dr. Sunday right now has over 100 books in English, and if we want to put the sum total of his books in English and in Russian and other languages, it's maybe close to 400 of books. Many people have been asking Dr. Sunday the question, why are you obsessed about writing books? Why do you write books? And Dr. Sunday decided to respond. He decided to respond to that question with a book. Isn't that interesting? So people are asking him, why does he write books? So he says, okay, I'm going to respond to you with another book. And right there, that is the book. And Dr. Sunday is answering the question, why he writes books. So he's saying, why I write books. But he does not stop there. He goes ahead to even give you reasons why it shouldn't just be him writing books, but that there are books already stored inside of you. That there are books that you also have to write yourself, and you too should write your book. You shouldn't rob this world of the book that is in you. And In this book, Dr. Sunday gives answers to all of these questions. Why he writes books and why you too should write yours. So everyone who is watching right now, you want to get this book, right? This book is available right now on Amazon. You can order this book right now if you're interested in getting the book. And if you are an Amazon Kindle Unlimited subscriber, you could get this book for free. But apart from this book, you could also get Dr. Sunday's books available on BAM Books. Like you can see on the screen right there, that is BAM Books. So this is for people who are in Nigeria or people who are in Africa, or even if you are overseas and you want to get this, you could also get it. So you could get Dr. Sunday's books, over 100 of his books available on this platform. It is bambooks.io. That is BAMBOOKS.io. So you could also get it on Amazon. You could get it on dsabooksplanet.com, and you could get all of these books and let them transform your life. Let the truths that are there, let them change you to the person that God has created you to be. Let them bring out the very best in you. Let them help you discover something within you that you never knew. Just like our guest today, Rochelle, she never knew, she never knew that God had already, packaged her and had custom made her with everything she needs to be, to write and to release truths through her writing. But thanks be to God, she walked into her destiny, listening to the truths that Dr. Sunday is teaching. And now, for the past 2 years, that is mind-blowing all by itself. Every day, she's been releasing an article every blessed day. And you know that, and she doesn't repeat them. You go check it. It's not like today there's an article and she doesn't know. It's, new every day. Just as the Bible says that the messages of the Lord are new every day, They're new every day. They are fresh. So she releases new articles every day. And she has told us the source, right? That the source is from a personal relationship with God. Isn't that amazing? That from your personal relationship with God, you could get ideas and you could begin to convert your ideas. Tell us about, how you get ideas from God, how you get your inspiration from God, and how you convert them. That process of conversion. How do you develop an idea? How do you convert the idea? And how do you bring it into a tangible product? Do you want to take us on that journey so we could learn from you?
Well, I've learned through prayer. The whole purpose of prayer is connecting with God and the Spirit, connecting, having fellowship, having a relationship with Him. And through prayer, God will often drop a word in my spirit or a picture. I get a lot of pictures, and as I see that picture, I've got to develop it. I've got to understand the concept, what the concept is about. It's on a higher frequency. It's not just thinking. It's a much higher frequency, and it's like electrified. I feel sometimes. It's a and that's that place of inspiration, and you get this word, and then it's sometimes I only get the word or the picture, but through the picture I'm like asking God questions. What is this picture about? What, like I'll get some picture and I'm like, wow, what's this picture saying to me? And it's always got to do with my write-up. And as I'm interpreting the picture, once I've understood what, like DSA said, for somebody to build an aeroplane, they've got to actually have the knowledge behind before they can actually build an aeroplane. Right. And yeah, so if I hadn't listened to DSA for the last few years to have the knowledge behind the pictures so that I'm able to interpret them, otherwise those pictures would be irrelevant because I wouldn't be able to bring out the meaning behind it. And so that as I get that word or that picture or that inspiration, that's where I step. So I get out my computer and I just start writing. And as it's coming out, like when people speak in tongues or they prophesied or they that the rest comes. The rest, as long as you step out by faith. Even some days I'm like, really, I'm like, is this, the concept? I'm like, wow. But he's faithful, and as I step out by faith, even the rest comes. And I always do, I've always got a standard. I've got to write at least 1,200 words.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because I want to develop the skills so that I can get better. And that's another thing that I've seen over the last 2 years. I can look back and I can come to today, and I've seen how God has taken me through the process of developing my skill. I look back and I think, wow, I've come a long way.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You shared a lot of principles already. As you're speaking, and as you were speaking, I was just seeing a lot of principles you were sharing on how to convert, spiritual experiences, ideas, and how to bring it to the physical realm. And I would like to encourage our viewers who are listening, because I'm not sure if everyone is able to pick out all of the details of what you said, but even in your story, you've shared out some principles, the role of prayer and the role of prayer, and how it's not just enough to be in that high frequency where you got the idea, but you have to decrease it. And the way you decrease the frequency, the way you reduce it, is by questioning. Is by questioning. So you're asking God questions, and then that brings in the series on the art of questioning. So it's not just enough to just say, okay, I got this idea, and boom. No, you have to start questioning. So questioning comes into it, and then the goal of questioning, is to seek for understanding, because you want to be able to not just get the idea, and say, okay, I got the idea, but you're trying to see the pictures and to gain understanding, because it is from understanding you're able to, convert it to something tangible. And, many of these whole processes you've explained. So I'm going to encourage everybody to to share the video right now. Share the video, because when you share the video in your timeline, you're able to come back to it, and you're able to listen to what Rochelle just explained on how you can convert your ideas, to tangible products, And one of the things that you said that really even blesses me is how, you have to just, move in faith, and, trust God, trust Him, and, Lord, you're my source, I trust you, and then I know as long as you're my source, I can never run dry, because I'm connected to you, and whatever I need, the ideas I need, I'm able to even get it, overflow, because I trust you. And the second thing that I really love that you said, and that is interesting, and I would like you to maybe just shed some more light about it. Most times when people say, okay, I have a call, and the call of God upon my life is this, they just think, oh, that's all that they need to do. Okay, I'm called to write, or I'm called to speak. But they don't see the need, to set standards, the need to seek constant development, constant improvement, just like what you said, because you made that statement that even though you discovered writing to be, your call, well, you set a standard for yourself that I want to write, this amount of words, and I want to work on my writing skills so I can improve and get better at it. Why is this important?
Well, because DSA taught that you've got to polish. There's no point in having a gift, but you have to polish it. So one of the main reasons I like to write, because I want to get it to such a standard where it is at such an excellent quality that I can write books. Like I don't want to just write books when it's not at an excellent standard. That's just for me. I'm quite fussy. And yeah, and because I learned from DSA about how God, the creation, I love that story of the creation process from Genesis,
Yeah.
and that's and learning how to go through the process. And like I look back at where I started, I think, wow, I've come a long way.
I've come a
um,
long way.
my goodness. I look back and I think I'm glad I couldn't see what I can see today, because the standard, yeah, but if you know what I'm saying, because as you get better, you can see where you've improved. And that's a big thing for me, to get better. And I know that if you keep practicing every day, that it's eventually going to come, the 10,000 hour rule
Yeah.
is eventually going to bring it to a standard, where it's at an excellent quality, because that's a very important thing for me. I think things should be done very well, and what's the point of doing if it's not done to a standard? Yeah. So I'm very fussy. Yeah, I like to do it, and I love words. Words have a whole new meaning to me, like the importance of word placement and getting words in proper context, like and I know that a lot of my words have all come from DSA, because I just love the way he puts words together. Oh my goodness. Just just everything. And sometimes I read my stuff, and then weeks later I'll be listening to one of his messages and I think, oh, that's where I got that from. I've written something, but and I think, wow, he used the same thing, and I don't even realize that that's where it's all coming from.
Wow. Powerful.
Yeah, it is. And it just comes out of me. So it's showing me that we pick up a lot more than we think we do. Like it actually, yeah. And so, and often I'll write and think, where did I get that from? But it's always coming from him, because, yeah. Well, yeah. But it just comes out on the page, and I'm like, wow. So, yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I'm so blessed, and it's just beautiful to hear your testimony. It's beautiful to experience someone who is devoted, dedicated to not just saying, "Oh, I'm a follower of Dr. Sunday," but no, that's not what you're interested. You're interested in the truth that he communicates. But even beyond that, you're not just interested, but there is a high level of commitment that you have to these truths, for the truth to transform you. You've been transformed by the truth yourself, and from that place of transformation, it has birthed, out of you, even the desire to even see transformation in the lives of people around you, in the lives of societies, and it's beautiful to hear you talk. As I hear you talk, I hear DSA, I hear the truth that DSA teaches talk, your pictures, your words, and the values I hear from you, the principles I hear from you. It's almost like I'm seeing DSA, I'm hearing DSA in a woman's body and in a white skin. That's very, and that's what it means to be a disciple. What it means to be a disciple is not that I share on Facebook, or I visited Dr. Sunday. That doesn't qualify you as a disciple. That, okay, I've been with him for 5 years. That doesn't qualify you as a disciple. But the ability for you to replicate within yourself the truths, the values, the principles, the lessons that he lives by and that he teaches, and you inculcate the same in yourself. You pay the price to sit down, to listen, to work on yourself, to dig your own well, and to make the word flesh in yourself. That is the hard work that many people do not do. But I see that you've done that hard work on yourself, You know, I see it's very clear. Anyone who is listening to us would bear me witness that it's very clear that you've done the hard work on yourself, you know, in trying to cultivate those lessons that you've learned from Dr. Sunday. And now it's almost like those words have been made flesh in you.
Yes. And I just feel if we are so blessed to hear this kind of truth, there's a high responsibility because, you know, we're going to stand before God and say, well, I heard this level of truth. What did I do with it? You know, and I, you know, you can't turn away from that. You know, like once you've heard it for a reason. And it's you know, it's always upset me that, you know, that church is just doing church, but we need to be affecting society, you know, and that's why it's so important that this truth gets out into the world, because I feel like people are caught in church but not the gospel of the kingdom, you know, like, yeah, so that's why I'm just so grateful for hearing, dear saying,
Beautiful, beautiful. I don't know if you have maybe some words you like to say particularly to our audience, people who are watching us right now. Is there anything you have in your spirit you would just like to maybe to share with them in particular?
Thank you for all the people that follow me. Just thank you for supporting my writing, and I'm just so grateful for you guys. So thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. And is there any word you would like to share with Dr. Sunday?
Oh my goodness, I just love that man. Besides Jesus, he's the second, you know, like he's so important because not because of the man, because of what the truth he shares. So I'm just so grateful for him. I thank God for him every day, and I pray for him every day. And words cannot even say enough to say thank you to him. So yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Mrs. Rochelle, thank you so very much for, you know, being with us today. Thank you for sharing your testimony. Thank you for sharing your journey. And I want to believe that, you know, people who have been able to join us now, you know, live, and people who would also watch the video maybe sometime in the future, I want to believe that, you know, they would have learned at least one or two things from your life, you know, and from your journey that would also help them in their own journey of life. So thank you for being with us. It was a pleasure, you know, having this conversation with you and having people also being blessed by it. And please keep writing, because the world is, you know, the world is waiting for it. The world is waiting for your writing. And I want to believe that you also have plans, you know, to even get your book out.
Yes, I will. Yes.
And so we are on the lookout. I mean, we're waiting for it. We're waiting to see, you know, lives transformed by your writings, and generations even after now, you know, coming back to, you know, refer to all of these articles that you're releasing, and even future of your writings that would change the world at large. So we are solidly behind you, and God is behind you, and we're praying that, you know, more inspiration, more conversion, and more products from you.
Yeah.
And more products from you. Thank you so very much for being with us today. And also, I'm going to give the final now appreciation to our friends and family, people who are watching us on Facebook and on YouTube all over the world right now. Thank you so much for being with us today. Well, if you've not shared this video, please, I'd like to encourage you to please share the video. And if you've not, you know, maybe registered, or if you're interested in the mentorship programs that Dr. Sunday is having the Who Am I, Why Am I Alive? He's also having the Millionaires Mentorship Program. You can write to mentorship@God Embassy if you want to get more information about that. The new book is why I write books and why you too should write yours. You can get this also on bambooks.io or Amazon Kindle Unlimited. So we're going to be back tomorrow. Like I said, it continues for the next few days. So we're going to have another guest tomorrow who will be sharing our own testimony, our journey, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, 7 p.m. Kyiv time, 5 p.m. Nigerian time, 5 p.m. UK time. It was a great time today being with you, and see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening from Kyiv, Ukraine, and bye for now.